The following movie review and/or commentary may contain spoilers. Hail, good viewers and listeners in! Do you smell what The Rock is cooking? Well, you should, because it reeks of cheese! Hobbs & Shaw is the latest schlocktastic offering from the Fast and Furious franchise. It co-stars the crown prince of schlock himself, Jason Statham, fresh off his Oscar-caliber performance in The Meg.
It's not about the people you lose. It's about the people you save. Signing off.
That was fucking beautiful, man! So as you can see, it's got all the key ingredients for a perfect fondue, the likes of which we haven't seen since XXX, the return of Xander Cage. Fuck yeah! Can it live up to those lofty standards, or will it cause me to fall asleep and choke on my dentures? Well, let's break out the cheese knives, pour a perfectly paired glass of red, and find out. Post-haste! The moment I saw the trailer where The Rock pulled a chopper out of the sky with his bare hands, I knew this had the potential to be something special, and for the most part it is. Now don't get me wrong, I'm not saying this is a good movie in the typical sense. The plot is predictable, the dialogue is stupid, and the jokes aren't funny. But you don't go to a movie like this expecting a clever plot or coherent dialogue anyway. You've got to be realistic about what you're getting yourself into. Look, going to a Fast and Furious movie and complaining that it's stupid is like going to a kegger at Delta Kappa Sigma and being surprised when your titties get slapped. A good trash movie is like your worst fart ever. It's eye-wateringly bad, but for some reason, you just have an undeniable desire to savor its putrid odor. And that's this movie in a nutshell. It's the cinematic equivalent of a deliciously pungent fart. But that's not to say that it's a perfect fart by any means. It does have a few scenes that'll leave stains in your undies. So what do you want first? The good news or the bad news?
You know I like my dessert first.
Alrighty then. Pro number one! Unintentionally hilarious action sequences. For me, this is the main draw of a schlock action blockbuster. Some people like corny dialogue. For others, it's the stupid jokes. But for me, I want to see The Rock get beat up by an 80-pound woman. I want to see Statham's jowls flapping in super slow-mo. And I want to see Idris Elba breakdance a superbike under two colliding semi-trucks. I did that on my mobility scooter once. Let's put it this way. If you found the train sequence in Fast 5 hilarious, you're gonna love Hobbs & Shaw, because it's basically 2 hours of that cheese. Just look at this shit! Comedy gold! Pro number two! Actually good cinematography. Despite being a dumpster-level blockbuster action flick that wasn't even worthy of a numbered entry in the Fast and Furious franchise, this is actually a fairly well-crafted film. You can see that a lot of effort was put into it. I only noticed one shot-reverse shot in the entire movie, unlike some lazy arses who rely on that for every scene. But I don't want to mention names. It was also refreshing that in this age of green-screened digital vomit that most of the movie was shot on location. It was easy to tell what was going on in the fight sequences as well, which is nice. Even though the fight sequences themselves were nothing special and had the typical stupidity of guys waiting around for their turn to get punched like all modern action movies. But that's a staple of the genre these days, so I won't judge it too harshly for that. What the fuck, Helen Mirren? Oh, how the mighty have fallen. Pro number three! Limited exposition. You don't have to have seen the last 17 installments of Fast and the Furious to understand what's going on in this movie. And they don't drop a whole ton of unnecessary expository dialogue on you either, which I really appreciate. There are few things I hate more in cinema than when a movie takes an exposition dump in my ear.
Your life is the sum of a remainder of an unbalanced equation.
While it remains a burden
assiduously
programming
avoided, it is not unexpected.
You
have
are
many
the eventuality of
Oh, God. Shut up!
Give me the damn veggies.
Pawn number 1! The forced comedy scenes. Ever since the Marvel Cinematic Universe became a thing, it seems like every action movie has to include observational comedy gags where one character does a running commentary on something the other character is doing. If you don't know what I mean, here's a perfect example.
You have to be ready for that. Oh, there's an access tunnel that leads... Why are you doing that? Why are you doing this? I'm trying to come up with a plan.
I'm so sick of this shtick, and it's in every fucking movie now, including this one. Can we just drop this thing already? It stopped being funny 10 damn years ago. And this movie doesn't need it anyway because it has unintentional hilarity in spades. Con number 2! Yet another save the world plot. This is less of a specific complaint directed at this movie and more of a complaint about action movies as a whole. But does every goddamn movie need to have the same plot? Every single time, it's some bad guy is gonna get revenge against some good guy by using the Tesseract / Infinity Gauntlet / some other MacGuffin, and it just feels so lazy. At least this movie seems to be self-aware of this, as Idris Elba introduces himself simply as bad guy.
Who the hell are you?
Bad guy.
See? I told you. Now, I know I'm holding a schlock action movie to some pretty high standards here, but I think with this flick, a few simple tweaks could have completely removed the whole save the world stakes and kept it from falling into the same trap as every other action movie. I'll clarify what I mean. The general plot is Shaw's sister is carrying a dormant virus which Idris Elba wants to extract and use to kill millions of people. What I would have done is just focus the plot entirely on the race against time element of getting the virus out of Shaw's sister, thereby making the stakes more focused on the personal elements of the story and differentiating it from 90% of other action movies. Oh, and spoilers, by the way. I guess I should have said that first. Con number 3! Missed opportunities to really crank the fromage meter up to 11. For example, this scene where female Benedict Cumberbatch straddles The Rock's lap and stares awkwardly in his eyes before hopping off and going about their business. What they should have done was have him go in for a deep Frenchie while the camera pans 360 around them with Take My Breath Away playing in the background. Just imagine the cheese! Looks like a Main Street hooker spreading her legs after a hard night's work. Oh God, that's too much even for me. Con number 4! Ryan fucking Reynolds! Am I the only one sick of his one-note forced comedy routine? Hey Ryan, you play the same damn character in every damn movie you're in. How about you give it a rest for a while, and the next time we need you to do Deadpool, we'll let you know. Until then, take off, you hoser? And that's it. As you can probably guess, Hobbs and Shaw gets a cheese-oozing recommendation from me. If you like action schlock, this is just what the doctor ordered, with the only major knock against it being its weak attempts at comedy. Oh, and the 20-minute post-credits sequence of digitally restored Holocaust footage was a bit out of place. But other than that, it's a good movie. Go see it. Till next time, fare thee well, f***ers! If you enjoyed the video, please leave a comment and a like. It helps us get more exposure on the YouTubes. And while you're at it, why not subscribe? We put out shit like this every week.